Hello, my name is Julie Cervantes, and this presentation is called Present Day Librarianship, aka How to Stay Relevant in an Electronic Age. I am a student at San Jose State University, and my class is LIBR204. This presentation involves three parts: misconception about librarianship, current roles of present day librarians and libraries, and then finally, challenges faced by librarians in the future and also to the study of librarianship. All right, first of all, misconceptions. There's an idea and a stereotype of librarians with our nose in books, that we're constantly reading, shushing everyone, and that we are obsessive about order, and especially among our books, and that libraries serve as repositories of information. And I'd like to address those one at a time. First of all, reading. Most of the librarians that I know actually spend very little time reading. It's a luxury that seems to fall by the wayside when you work day in and day out with books and other information sources. Shushing is something that we try to get away from. We no longer serve as gatekeepers of information. Rather, we emphasize customer service, and we cannot afford to be turning people away. We need as much participation and buy-in from the community regarding the value of library services as possible in a current context. Therefore, there's a great emphasis on providing resources that are viable, valuable, and also easy to access. We do continue to serve as repositories of information. However, the internet offers a resource that is continually increasingly relevant, and accessible. The library, of course, is geographically static. We don't move or travel as easily as the internet does, and therefore we can augment the information that's available via the internet. However, it doesn't make sense to compete. So we can depend on the internet for increased access to things like databases and additional resources. However, we definitely don't want to completely eliminate our nonfiction and fiction sections and our book holding, as many patrons do prefer to have a paper-based or hard copy of some material. The role of the present-day librarian and librarianship. I think that there's an increasing emphasis on education and providing educational programs both for school-aged children, toddlers, all the way through senior citizens. And there seems to be the greatest demand for computer classes. However, libraries are also evolving to engage a wider audience through the use of makerspaces. And makerspaces can really supplement the budgetary crisis that exists in our public schools by providing a space and then also access to materials that are difficult to purchase with school funding. So, for example, robotics is a very popular library makerspace program. Lego related programs are also very popular. Science, technology, engineering, math, our favorite acronym of STEM activities, are really prevalent and also very valuable. The libraries of current day can also provide human services. I know that the library where I work emphasizes and takes advantage of the opportunity to connect people that need resources with the information to get them. For example, tax forms are now only available generally online, and so we assist our patrons in the finding and location and printing of those tax forms. Information and links to other valuable human services, for example, Chapter 8, or Section 8 housing applications, immigration forms, and also applications for welfare. These are all things that the libraries can link our patrons to, and there's I think, a more critical need than ever for sharing of that information, and really making an effort to make sure that that information is readily available to those that need it most. In the future, how do librarians continue to be relevant? Is such a good question. I think especially when we're really struggling with our identity, our role in the context of a community and in the context of a profession. There's increased budget competition every year, and in most municipalities, libraries go head to head with critical services like police forces and firefighters to get our budget. So that becomes increasingly challenging. I think, though, that as libraries continue to keep an eye on what the demand is and how we can meet that, I think we have to really think of ourselves as not a cog in a wheel, but a part of a greater whole, and we can continue to be relevant by thinking ahead a little bit, being progressive and forward thinking in terms of how we define our scope of services, our audience, and our programs. This concludes my presentation. I thank you most wholeheartedly for everything that you have done for us this class, and I've learned so much. Thank you again, and have a wonderful day.